And without further ado, please welcome MsDebbieP. You got your groove on, girl? Time to get real, man. Woo! Well, welcome. It's so fun live streaming. Who knew, right?
Yes.
Wow. And what a way to reach people. So I am so honored and blessed that you are here with me today. And because you have like so many great products and you have such a great message that you are bringing out for people. And it's like, you know, who knew, right? Who knew that just by smelling things and using them to clarify different things that are going on in our life. So tell me, and well, not tell me because I know you, but tell everybody how you kind of got into this in your life, because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, 5 years ago, actually 5 years ago in like 3 weeks, I didn't even know what an essential oil was. And I was supporting my daughter and a friend, and I went to this little community event, and they had this oils there. And I don't know, oils are something that comes in a bottle, and you smell them apparently. And that's what people were doing. And then I said, gee, would they help you with like joint and muscle pain? Would they help with my knees? And they said, oh yeah, whatever. So I jumped in, bought the kit, who knew? And then the knee got better. And then this over 50 problem went better. And then this over 50. And gee, these things kind of like work, right? So then I started learning about how the body works. I started learning about toxic ingredients that are in our products that stays in our body because our body doesn't know what to do with it. And then that kept evolving. And I was okay. This journey is all about get toxins out and bring nature in, because the environment is so important to me. And then I learned about young living, and it's everything I believe in. Taking care of our children. Yep, that's wellness. Get the toxins out. Family, yes. The environment, yes. Empowerment, yes. Empathy, yes. All of these things. And it just kept going, going, going. And then I connected with Native community. Native teachings just so resonate with me. And then somebody, Bear, took me on a whole other level with essential oils and wellness and spirit. And I learned in my journey, it's an Ojibwe phrase, Nitam Mashkiki Nabish, first medicine is water. Echo Nishing Mashkiki one. The second, medicinal plants. And medicinal plants are essential oils. And that's wellness. And that is at the core basis of who we are. So that was the big hallelujah, let's sing the choir, because that was just me at the bare essence of what we're all about. And then from there, I'm thinking, okay, Bear keeps talking about spirit and messages and all this stuff. And how do you tie this with essential oils? Well, I learned that when you breathe in an essential oil, it does a lot of things. There's physical things that the different constituents in an oil does, cleaning up cells, triggering different systems and all of that kind of stuff, which is wonderful and a part of my journey. But it also triggers memories and you'll get thoughts, because your mind goes, what's that smell? Because I need to know. The brain
sort of
needs
wakes
to know.
up.
What's that?
It sort of wakes it up and opens it up.
Yes. The brain needs to know if you're in danger or if there's something here that's going to support it. So it has to know everything about it. So it goes, what do you know about this smell? And then spirit says, okay, you need to remember this memory, because that's a clue to your empowerment, to your journey, to your healing, to letting go that which no longer serves you, and moving into your higher self. And so spirit only has our memories to work with. So sometimes it's really blunt and it's like, boom, here it is. And sometimes it has to be symbolic to try and get you to do the work, to peel back the layers.
Absolutely.
And then, so that's the journey. And then recently I was taught, because I don't know what I do. I breathe in the oils. I talk to people. I'm all about empowerment. That's been my life thread through my whole life. And now I use these oils in people's messages to help them identify what it is that they need to work on. And someone told me, you know what's happening? And no, I have no idea. I'm smelling oils. I'm doing my thing. And they said, the other person's guide, they need one spirit guide, talks to my spirit guide, who triggers memories and thoughts in me, so that the other person, myself, and the two spirit guides are all talking together, trying to figure this out. And okay, I'll go with that, because I don't know.
We're the messengers, right? I always tell everybody that we're the messengers. So please don't shoot me. We're just the channel that all this stuff kind of goes through to people for. And you know, that's always a journey in itself.
Yeah. And so you were key for me, because you kept saying, you need to do this. And I thought, I don't even know what I'm doing. I am smelling oils. I am listening to people's stories, and I'm nudging them and doing this work. I said, the oils are doing everything. And you're saying, no, you need to do this. Okay. I trust Bear. I'll do it.
I don't know her. She's this crazy woman that I met on Facebook, but she's telling me, so maybe there's something to it. But you know, the thing with that, and I really don't remember, and I don't know if you do or not, but when I do readings for people, I don't remember what's said, because the messages are for the people, or it would be like if I'm doing a read for you, it would be for you. So there's no reason for me to recall it or remember it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember a lot of that, but I do know every time I saw you, it was so flipping loud. She needs to be doing this. She needs to be doing this. She needs to be doing reads. I don't know why she's not doing it. I don't know why. So every time I did see you, it was kind of like, and believe me, I get kicked in the butt by spirit enough, let me tell you. But it's like kicking you in the butt to like, okay, motivate her, she needs to do this. So I just think that's a great part of your journey. I'm so proud of the fact that you embraced this, because I know something new, when people face something new to do in their life, and especially sometimes holistic things, or like with what we do with the readings and stuff, it's like, and I know it's not like it used to be when I was young, but it's like, that's a crazy person, you know? So I really applaud the fact that you've embraced all of this. So what's going on? Tell us about the oils.
I don't consider my... Okay. So Young Living is, none of us would know anything about essential oils if it wasn't for Young Living. So Gary Young, he's got his own story. He's passed away now, unfortunately, but he discovered them. He researched them. He went all over the world to see how Indigenous people used essential oils. He went into way into history to find how the oils have been used historically, into the lab, because he needed to know more. And it was just, and then he was on a mission because these things are so extraordinary that they can just completely change your life, which they have done for me. And so he said, okay, how do I get the absolute best oil into this bottle? The purest, the highest level of all the different constituents that are in that. And he was on a mission. So that's what he did. And then the whole company is about, his phrase was, it's not about profit, it's about purpose. How can I help people? And then our legacy, as we that are using Young Living products now, how can we help people? And that's what this is. So for me, it's toxins out, nature in, body, mind, and spirit, because we need to get the crap out, our old stories that don't serve us anymore, our old products that had these
Absolutely
crazy ingredients in them that are still there, and we know they're carcinogenic. Are you kidding? So awareness, cleansing, oils. So the other great thing with Young Living is you buy what you want, when you want, if you want. There's no strings. You don't have to buy a kit. It's the best way. I'm going to tell you that right now, because you never know what they're going to be good for.
right.
That was my journey. I just wanted something for my knee, but I bought the kit.
What did you use? Just to briefly interject, what did you use on your knee?
Well, I used this little bottle here. It's called Panaway. Actually, that's an old bottle, so it's probably my very first bottle. Because in that, there's a bunch of oils, but one of them's wintergreen. And here in Canada, wintergreen is a natural health product. So our Health Canada has recognized that the studies show it actually works, supports with arthritic or pain. So that was my baby. And it still is a treasure, because every once in a while, crap builds up in me and it goes to my knees. That's where it goes. So, yeah. So the other thing, just on a side note with oils, not all oils are created the same. They can say pure, but only
Why
like
wouldn't they be created the same? You know, one of the big things is I'm listening to this, and I don't know if people that are watching or will watch in the future will kind of tap into, is the products and the fact that you're using like aromatherapy, okay? And you're using plants that go back to the beginning of time, indigenous plants, and even like tribes that are like deep in the Amazon that, you know, are just being found or haven't been found or whatever. This is how we survived in the early days of humanity. You know, like aspirin has come from, you know, the black willow. It's black willow, right? I'm like not thinking right now. The black willow plant. I mean, all the drugs, even drugs that people take today, are all derived from the earth.
That's right.
And it's like I use sage, white sage, to cleanse, and it actually is scientifically proven that these scents, these smells, these plants clear and do things. I mean, this isn't like hoo-ha out there crazy stuff. This is actually proven that this stuff works. Is it a miracle cure? No, it's not a miracle. It's earth-based and plant-based. So here the earth has given us these great gifts to be utilized in proper fashions to assist us, like you said, to balance our bodies and our minds and our spirits. So that's why I'm just so proud of everything you're doing, because it goes back to our roots as human beings.
That's right.
Yeah.
And oils don't cure. Oils support the body, so the body can do what it's supposed to do, which is take care of us.
To heal.
That's right. And so the less toxins we can put in our body, so our body doesn't have to fight those, it can put its energy on healing and making us our higher self, body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So, however, they can synthetically create the constituents of an oil in the lab. That's why we have all of the drugs and things, because they've created, they've taken it and they've made it in the lab.
Correct.
But they're making it out of petroleum byproducts and who knows what. So you're actually putting toxins in as you're trying to get toxins out, so it doesn't make sense. So, and especially when you're using it and you're going to breathe it in, whatever you're breathing in is going right up here into the brain. So you want to make sure that what is in that bottle, when it says pure on it, you want 100% pure and 100% of the contents, because they say that legally only 5% of that bottle has to be the oil. They can fill it up with anything. And then that 5% can be synthetic,
which isn't good
not
for
actual plant.
Which isn't good for you.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you're talking about wellness. So you want to be using the best products that you can. And Young Living, they put so much in. So ylang ylang, that's the one I kept grabbing here. The research, they're showing it's best harvested between midnight and 4 in the morning to get the highest levels of the constituents
that
are affected. Yes. So early in the morning is when Young Living harvests the flowers. And Young Living also found that it's best harvested by women, because when the men harvest, they don't get the same quality of oil. So primarily it's women that harvest the ylang ylang because it makes a difference.
But again, if you go back into indigenous ways, or even I'll even go so far as like druids and, you know, the old ways, just saying in general, the women were the ones that everybody in the community would turn to originally for decisions, and tribally, even like they would go to the women in charge to say, okay, can we make war on this other community, or can we do this, or can we do that? So for you to say that, it really doesn't surprise me. And this is not in any way a slam to men, but this is kind of like, okay, I feel kind of like, and I'm just going to say this, and I know there's going to be people that are going to say, yeah, right. But it's time for women to kind of come out and take that power again. Yeah. And I don't mean to like crush men or step on men, but there has to be a better balance. So products and things that you're doing and the aromatherapy issues, you know, about the healing and how it can help to heal. Again, it's all about balance. And right now the world is just so flipping out of balance. And I don't know about you, but one of the things that's positive to me about all this lockdown is families are reconnecting.
Yeah.
People are having to deal with their children. You know, they're not just getting in the car, dropping them off at school and going to work and saying bye-bye for X amount of hours, you know. They're having to deal with them and understand them and get to know them. And in so many ways, it's so good. So with that being said, with the aromatherapy products, that's bringing about balance. That's trying to bring our bodies to a place that we can heal, because I do believe that we have the potential, all of us do, it's in with each of us, to heal ourselves to a big extent. I'm not saying always completely, but to a very large extent. So getting healthy the way that you're showing us now helps with that. Do you have things that, because it's a big issue right now, that helps and assists with anxiety, or does that go with different smells and odors for every person?
Okay, so here in Canada, we have a number, I don't know, there's 30 products, I think, that are for stress and relaxation. And that's about it's basically bringing this down so that you can do the work to get in balance, like you've been talking about. So this is what this is my belief. We have a purpose and a passion that we're here on this earth to live. We have beliefs and goals, okay? And then life throws us this. And these two aren't meshing. And if they aren't meshing, you have stress. And if you don't deal with the stress, you have anxiety and you have depression and you have all of those things. So if we can get these guys into alignment as soon as possible, that we're in balance, then we cope with the stress effectively and it doesn't snowball into something worse. So in this situation that we're in right now, we can't change the social distancing, the virus, we can't change all that. However, we have the power to manage who we are, how we're living, how we're responding to situations, and remembering, I think, staying in our truth to bring who we are into the situation rather than it turning us into angry, resentful, judgmental, all of those negative things, because there's where the stress will turn into anxiety and all.
And that's a daily struggle, correct? I mean, that's not, you just don't do it once and it's like, whoo, that's it, I'm fixed. This is something like you would take vitamins every day, or we eat every day, or we drink water every day. This is something we have to tend to.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes. Yes. So many people will say, let's say I'll take this pan away because it has wintergreen oil in it. And they say, I put this on my knee and I didn't feel any difference. I thought, okay, how many times did you do that? Well, once. Okay, so if you went to the doctor and the doctor said, here, take these pills, typically it's like 3 times a day for 10 days. It's not like, here's one pill. So your body has layers and layers of crud that is built up and it's messed up and there's blockages, and I don't know what all's going on inside this body. I can't see in there. But I know there's a mess of stuff and it's going to take time to peel through the layers to get to the releasing of whatever. So for example, I'm on this whole journey of self-awareness, and I'm not going to find it here. But I do essential reflections. And so what I do is I use 4 oils, one for each of the directions, the 4 directions. So east is beginnings, opportunities, south is trusting and believing, west is walking your talk, and north is the wisdom. So I have 1 oil for each of those. And I use the same oils for a whole week. And every day reflecting on what messages come through. So about 3 weeks ago, there it is, release. Release came up as one of my oils. Day 6, I breathed in this oil. I went, and I just started sobbing. I don't know what I was sobbing for, but something had been cleansed through enough that I got to something and I was letting it out. I was releasing whatever it was.
And it probably needed to be released. That's why this happened.
That's right. And it took 6 days.
But intuition made you use that oil, that particular oil.
That's right. So spirit. So I have cards that I use, and how I interpret it, because I don't know what's happening. This is how I say it, that spirit guides my shuffling, because it knows what oil I need to breathe in and use on my body to trigger some thoughts, some memories, some cleansing. Something needs to be cleansed out because it's no longer serving me, and spirit knows, so it does. Here we go. And it said release. So I used release for a week, and day 6 came the tears.
And the thing is, if we don't, as humans, try and input good positive thoughts, good positive habits, good positive physical things like eating and sleeping, getting enough sleep and what have you. If we don't do that for ourselves, no one else is gonna.
That's right.
So we have to learn to step up to take care of ourselves. And this has kind of been my message this year. You can't be selfish. So we're as a society, we're taught, put everything before us, mothers especially and fathers especially, you have to take care of your kids, you have to provide, and for your children and for other people, and even our jobs that are demanding are all about everything else and everyone else. But what we need to remember is it's not selfish to take care of us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what so many people fall in, that trap, and we forget about it. So that's like a core important thing. So what you do every day by, with the aroma, or, with the cards and coinciding with it, and then going out and working with people, you've given to yourself, and you've fed your soul, and you've fed your spirit, and you've fed your body, and you're taking care of all the important things so that you can do it for other people. And that's the strongest message that any of us can take from anything right now.
Yeah. So probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I'm doing my essential reflection, and it came to me that this body is a walking planet, because inside it are massive amounts of organisms, all living, doing their thing, working, interacting, the same as this planet Earth has all of these organisms on it that work together to make it all balance, your word again, and be this healthy thing. And I mean, oh my goodness, the environment is so important to me that I'm taking care of all of this. This is a planet. And I, as a steward of this planet, have to be a steward of this planet. And I need to be caring for this. So this walking planet is my responsibility.
That's an awesome way to think about it. I never really did think about it like that, but you're right. We have like billions of cells. There's like whole societies going on in our bodies. Everything impacts everything else, yet there's independence. That's really kind of cool. There's independent communities in our body. I've never thought that's a good way to put it.
It blows my mind. And I thank you for that response, because I talk to people, because I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm a walking planet. And they go, that's a little weird, Debbie.
You're the queen. You're the queen of your world.
This whole world.
Princess of quite a lot, right?
And I'm walking around like a planet with all of these things. So when you use the oils, and I'll never find which one I want here, but there's an oil blend called Digize, and it's for the digestive system, supporting the digestive system. So when I use that oil, it's going into that community of enzymes and microbes or whatever all's in there doing its thing for the digestive system. And I am saying, here, community, here, have this oil. You will like it. And they said, oh, thank you so much.
They're having a party now, right?
Right. Yeah. So I need to take care of them so that they can take care of me. It's right. How this all works, right? And yep. It goes back to that balance, finding that balance, and toxins out, nature in. It always comes back for me. It comes to that. Nature physically and nature like personality. I need to let my nature out, and all those toxic shoulds and fears and doubts, they need to go. Yeah. I need to find my nature to be that balance, to be that healthy person, so that I can make my contribution to the greater good the best that I can be and walk my path here of what I am here to do.
That's like an awesome thing. And I've watched Miss Debbie for a few years now do this journey, and it's like so empowering because you're so human in it. You know, flaws, powers, you know, and when I say powers, it's things that you empower yourself with, and accomplishments, and you know, you feel good about things, and you know, you've come on to and shared things with us that have, you know, kind of got you down a little bit, and it's so human and so real that's why I just adore what you're doing, and I love what you're doing, and the journey has been just phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what comes in the future for you and for us, because you're sharing it with everybody.
I can't wait either. Because it just keeps unfolding and going places. One of the cool things when I really got to understand Young Living was I looked back, so I'm in my 60s, and I look back at my past, and I'd said this before, everything that was of value to me in my life, all of those things have come under this one umbrella of Young Living. And this integrity of this company, this passion, this purpose of this company, and these standards that they set themselves to live up to, I think, man, am I worthy? I need to step up so that I am living in my truth and living the best that I can to contribute and not get lost in all of the muddy stuff that society can dump on us if we choose. So yeah,
to find a company that's putting out, I'm not trying to be an infomercial here, but to find a company that puts out a quality product and stands behind it is really a rarity in this world today. And I'm not saying that there aren't out there, there is, but I really think that, and I know you also brought up to me, because I have issues going on after my spine surgery, was with the CBD oil. So your company also has the CBD oil. And what's important, like you were saying, not only with the CBD, but with all oils, is that it's pure.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that the product that you're using and putting out for people is such a quality product, I guess. But again, it also reflects back to you, because you're very responsible. And I know that what you put out and show to people, and it's like you said, it's really not about the money. It's about being able to assist others. And to me, that's what is the best thing about what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to tell this story. So I went down to their convention. So 3 years ago, I guess it was. And so every year they make this specialty blend for the people that go to convention.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So a week before, one of the oils that they had to put in it, they tested it as usual, and they have a window that the constituents need to fall within. If they're too high or too low, then they're not working with the body as they want. So they tested this oil that came in, and it didn't fit within that standard. So that, nope, not using it. So this blend for 35,000 people that were coming to get this blend, they're saying not good enough. Now, I wouldn't have known that the oil, one oil of this blend, wasn't living up to their standards. I wouldn't have known that, but they knew that. So it was like, it's out. And I went, holy camole. Like, that is just so powerful that, because I don't know, me personally, I want to, like, okay, this is good enough. Never. Good enough isn't good enough.
I think that one of the things that I really interests me, and this is going to kind of go a little bit different direction, but not really, it'll tie back in, is ancient civilizations and archaeology. And you know, because I've been laid up a lot longer than the lockdown. So people bitching about this lockdown, I get it, but believe me, I really get it, because I've been laid up since 2000, beginning of 2019. And I mean, flat on my back laid up. So I've been watching a lot of, you guessed it, streaming, TV, whatever you want to call it, shows, whatever you want to call it. And one of the things I've been watching that I've just fallen in love with is Albert Lynn. And he's an archaeologist. And if you don't know him, people need to look him up because he's phenomenal. And he went into the Amazons, and he's gone over to Egypt. And it's pushed me to look into even more than what I know as a civilization these places are. And I was always in school, I took every archaeology class I could get my hands on. And you go back to, again, it's the roots of the things, the simple ways of life. Yeah. The foods that they're eating, the plants that they're using, the things that they use, like even pottery. I mean, it came from the earth. And I saw him the other day. He's going through another series right now, and he's it's actually on Disney Plus if everybody wants to watch it. He's actually going through the Bible right now, and excuse me, tying things into myth, legend, or real. Okay. And he went back and found in a particular area pottery that was over 5,000 years old. He's found stuff like that in Egypt. He's found that stuff in the Mayan communities and the Aztec communities. And they're whole pieces of pottery that survived 5,000 plus years. Okay. They didn't have the manufacturing companies that we have nowadays. They don't have the ways that we make things and create things. They didn't have processing plants for food. They didn't have, it was all basic, you know, like supporting our farmers right now and our people who raise the food that we eat right now. And I look at that and I think, you know, we've evolved, but what have we evolved into that we forgot our core, right? Our core kind of, I want to say, as caretakers of the earth, responsibility. Okay. So again, this goes back to the product that you have, taking care of business, taking care of us as a whole. Okay. So I look at this and I think those people did right. Okay. Yeah. We might not be running around in chariots or, you know, driving the pigs and the cattle through the center of town right now. Or even, although Egypt had an amazing agricultural system, it blows my mind. But they used herbs. They used oils, scented oils. And this is like, it's almost like come full circle, if you really think about it. Because we're starting to go back to, we want organic food. We don't want all the chemicals in it. We want aromatherapy that we can utilize and smell, and you know, maybe we can use it with modern medicine and use that too. So it's blended to assist us. So we're actually going back to our roots. And I don't think people even realize that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're craving it, I think. And we're learning, because what our grandparents knew, our science is proving. So now we're trusting it because we've been trained to rely on science and that. But we're getting there, and it's, you know, getting in balance. And one of the words that came up when you were talking there is respect. Our ancestors respected the herbs that they use. They respected the animals that they ate. They respected all of these things. We in our society today, for the most part, takes everything for granted. And we have an entitlement that it should just be there. That's why we go to synthetic oils, because they're going to be on the shelf whenever you need it, as opposed to Young Livings. For example, when you got pure, if the crop has failed because Mother Nature said, nope, going to wipe out the crop this year, you don't get an oil until those plants are replanted and grow to maturity, and you can harvest those oils. And people say, well, that's not right. I want this oil now. No, this is nature. This is how this really works.
One of the oils that you had used that I remember you using, at least I think I do, and you might slap me because I might be wrong, but it was cedar oil, like a cedar smell. Yeah. And it's like, that's so important, because that's actually one of the things that I use with the white sage. See, and for people that can't get to the white sage and the cedar, you know, to do their rituals or ceremonies, that's the option to get it. Because some people don't like the smoke. They're allergic to the smoke, you know. And it's like, yeah, but you can get the oil-based product. So, yes. Yay, I'm really happy about this. Really, really happy. So tell them, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, that was my first contact with you. I had followed you. I had seen you and you were there. I don't know, your name came up. It just gave me this grounding sense. And then I was doing some work at a Native community, and I thought, and they couldn't do smudging in their environment. And I thought, I think I could do essential oils because it's the plant. So could I smudge cedar wood and sage and use this as smudging? So I said, Miss Bear, would that be like disrespectful to their community if I said, hey, let's smudge using the oils? And you said, well, traditionally, and that's not a no. I'm going to smudge with my oils.
Yeah, it is. You have to realize, you know, I have many friends that are allergic to the smoke. I mean, they have asthma, they have, like you said, allergies and what have you, but the oils are different. So I'll often tell them either use the oils or make teas, you know, like teas, so that you can use it like, and by tea, I mean, you know, you cook it in water so that they can spray it or do whatever. So yeah, the oils are a great way to do a lot of things. That's so fun. So absolutely fun and informative. So tell everybody before we take off where they can, I know it's scrolling on the bottom, but if they want to get hold of you or they want to go order products, where do they go and how do they get in touch with you? And I know you're in group, so everybody here in group, you know, everybody can see her in group.
Yeah. So just message me. That's the easiest way. How Young Living works, it's online shopping. So you buy what you want when you want, if you want, and you can sign up. How it works as a business is they will give you like a referral thank you check. So when you use my number and say, Debbie introduced me to these, then I get a thank you check. That's how it works, plain and simple. So contact me. I'll give you my, decide what it is that you want to place for your first order. If you're in the US, it's a little bit different than the process in Canada, but we'll figure it out. Just wanted to add that we don't have CBD oil here in Canada. That's not part of, because here in Canada, it went, yay, let's all use this. But people started lying about the THC in it, and people were testing, thinking they were safe for their job, and no, you weren't. And they were using their job. So Health Canada had to put a shutdown on all the products coming in, so we can't get it up here. So, but down
they put all kinds of poison in our bodies. They inject our food with stuff. They make us pop pills. Our doctors give us all these prescriptions, which I don't do, but you know, the biggest majority of people that do, they give us all this kind of poison to put into our systems, but they won't let us use marijuana. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Just on that same kind of mentality, because we're mixed up, right? And we need to get back to core basics. People will say, oh, I don't know, I need to do my research on this. Okay, so when you went to the grocery store and you picked up your cleaning product X, Y, and Z, did you do your research on that company? Because I'm thinking you kind of didn't, and you just use it. But when it comes to nature, oh, I don't know. I need to do my research. Hey, absolutely do your research, but you should have been doing your research on those other products.
Do you remember, and I want to say it was about 2-3 years ago now, but there was something going around on social media, and it was about an Amazon tribe that people had come across, but they have been kind of sort of interacting with the modern day, but still keeping most of it at bay. So like no electricity, no, you know what I mean? So no cell phones, no that kind of stuff. They were kind of limiting touching base with people, but they had people that were coming to them with various illnesses like diabetics, people that had cancer, people that had, and they were kind of helping them to cleanse their systems to balance again. And I watched the movie and it just hit home to me because, again, we're talking about going back to the basics, right? And that's what this medicine man from this particular tribe, he would come and check in with them like a couple times a week. And they were in the middle of a jungle, literally. So it was, that's how they were living. The person with cancer felt better. It did not cure them because they came with stage 4 cancer. And at that point, they're, you know, but they had a woman with Parkinson's that he adapted her diet to what she needed to do, and it helped her tremendously. Did it cure her from Parkinson's? No, but it went from like really, really like shaking, like she couldn't function. She had to have people help her, even to go to the bathroom, to she could do that on her own and manage her symptoms. They had a diabetic there, and it was the same thing. They got him to like regroup the meds that he had been on, the doctor, or the, I want to say doctor, the medicine person that they had, the tribal medicine man, he went over and then they adjusted his diet and his everything that was going on, and he actually became healthy. Now they did have a modern doctor down with them, cases of emergency, and he discussed with the medicine person from the tribe what could be done and what couldn't be done. And so it was done in a proper fashion. But again, what struck me was going back to the roots of who we are as human beings, the simple basic ways, cutting through all the chaos and kind of like the white noise of the world. So I just feel that's really super important, that when people get to this point of kind of like they're just not in touch with reality of their own self, that we need to stop and take a breath and really do, like you said, the 4 directions. I do the 7 directions, above, below, and within are added in there. But it's like you have to get to the root to help yourself first. So I want to thank you so much for being here with me today and sharing all this information with us. And you know, again, I recommend Debbie to anybody that's listening that's interested in this. Contact her. She's very easy to talk to. She's here in group, and she's outside a group too. She's not just here. So please feel free to get a hold of her. Definitely check out her products that she's working with, and you know, be safe.
And anybody who signs up, uses my little reference referral number. I will give a full reading to you for empowerment, healing reading. And I'll be there for you to support you all on your journey.
And how can you go wrong with that, right?
There you go.
With that said, I just want to say bear out and